Welcome to Diligent Canine, and in this Q&A video I'm going to talk about Flexi Leads and why I do not use them. For those that don't know what a Flexi Lead is, it is like a leash, a long leash on a reel that extends out for your dog. It has usually a lever switch braking device that is supposed to lock and stop the lead from pulling out. The device is meant to stretch out and then reel back in and retract when pressure is taken off of it. So in concept, these make a lot of sense so that you don't have to carry around a short 2-foot tab lead, as well as a walking leash that's 4 to 6 feet long, and then a long line that's maybe 15 to 30 feet long to train your dog. You've sort of got all these things together. But there are some inherent problems with a Flexi Lead as well. So obviously a lot of people use them. A lot of people use them with some success, but there are several reasons why I do not use them. The first one is that strong dogs will pull through the brake. In other words, the brake is not strong enough to stop a strong dog from continuing to pull out the leash from the reeling mechanism. It's just how it is. Those things don't seem to be made to hold up to that. The other thing is we need to be really careful about what we are communicating to our dog at all times, because our dog is always learning from us, regardless of whether you consider it a training session or not. Even if you're just living in your house with your dog, just being around your dog, they're constantly learning about their environment, about you, and the things that are getting reinforced. Again, whether you're reinforcing their behavior intentionally or not, are the things that are going to get repeated. So if I have a Flexi Lead and sometimes I allow my dog to pull out, say 10-20 feet in front of me, I'm teaching them that if they work against the resistance, because the reel by its nature does apply some pressure, I'm teaching my dog that if I work against resistance, I can do what I want. I will get what I want by pulling against this resistance. By pulling against the resistance, I'll get what I want, which is to keep moving forward towards whatever it is that I'm sniffing or maybe trying to chase at. So that inherently creates problems as far as where do you want your dog to be? What kind of clear message are you sending? Do you want me to walk close to you? Do you want me to walk far away? Am I allowed to walk far away? Am I allowed to go over here? Do I need to stay on this side of you? Can I go to that side of you? These are all things that your dog is going to try to do because they're trying to learn about their environment. They're natural explorers. It's your job to give them structure and consistent expectations. In my video about walking your dog, I talked about using different commands to specify and to communicate with the dog where I want you to walk next to me, like maybe left side or the right side, and how far away you're allowed to be to me. So how much attention do I need you to pay to me? If you are using a Flexi Lead, you don't have as much control over that, or you're letting the dog decide that, which means you're sort of forfeiting your ability to make decisions with your dog then, because they're self-rewarding. Something else to talk about with Flexi Leads, if you have a scared or fearful dog, sometimes we drop leashes. Again, in the leash walking video, I talked about how to hold a leash, which sounds so dumb, but it's important, because if you drop it, you now have no control over your dog. None. Hopefully you've trained some obedience, either watching my videos or somebody else's that's reputable. But if that leash is no longer in your hand because your dog decided to chase something, so it's already not listening to you, it's decided to chase something and it pulls that leash out of your hand, that that big reel a lot of times makes a lot of noise while it's like beating and bouncing around on the concrete, the pavement, what have you. And particularly for small or fearful dogs, well, let's try to zoom out and think about how this looks for the dog. So your dog tried to run at something. Now you're scared, angry, upset. Maybe not angry at the dog, just mad at the situation. So now the dog had some kind of high stimulation that made it run. You are now yelling, adding more stress to the situation, and in the dog's perspective, there's this big chunk of plastic making clanging noises, chasing it. That's what it looks like to the dog. So the dog thinks it's the opposite of like a string with a carrot on it and an animal walking forward to get the carrot. In its mind, this blue thing is bouncing around, making a lot of noise and chasing me, and my human is yelling behind me. So the dog doesn't necessarily have the awareness that that thing that's chasing it is connected to him, and if he just stops, it'll stop. And dogs don't necessarily know that. You can maybe teach them, do some desensitizing with the banging around the handle and the reel of the Flexi Lead, but in my mind, they create some inherent problems. Again, this is just a quick video. Use them if you want, but be aware of some of the potential drawbacks and problems. Those being the braking mechanism, it has a weight limit, just like the weight limit on a fishing reel. If your dog is big or your dog is strong, it's going to pull through the brake. 2, we need to be very careful and very clear about what we are communicating to our dogs and what kind of boundaries we set for them and what kind of behaviors we reinforce. So do not let them just explore. I mean, there's a time and a place to let them explore the world freely, but you need to have clear communication with your dog. You need to be the one to make decisions for your dog, and consequently reward and praise them when they comply with those requests. And the third thing being, be aware of the situation that you're in, and this isn't just for Flexi Leads. It could apply to a lot of situations. Be in check of your emotions and be aware of how things can go badly in a situation. Relying too much on any one device is going to cause some problems. So that third point is really just a general reminder to proof behaviors, have a backup plan. It is your responsibility to control your dog. It is ultimately your responsibility to control yourself and how your dog interacts around other people, and it's your job to keep that dog safe, and your job to be aware of the environment and what's going around the two of you, or 3, 4, 5, however many of you and your dogs. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, or this helped clarify some things, or at least gave you some things to think about as far as walking your dog and the equipment you use. If you like the videos, remember to subscribe on patreon.com/diligentcanine.